Joining us here on the Full Court Press, and it's our honor and pleasure to have him. We appreciate his time, especially on an off week. Head associate coach, I'll say that, Austin Hansen of the Utah State Aggies men's basketball team joins us here on the Full Court Press. Coach, thanks for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
You've been through some conference tournaments of your own. Where does this Thursday through Saturday spree stand in your memory?
It was a pretty exciting one, just with how the games played out. We had some close games in all three matchups, and needed some guys to make some plays at the end, and that always makes it exciting.
Hey, Coach, something that us fans and sportscasters hear all the time is the difficulty when you play a team twice of how difficult it is to be that team if you sweep the series to try and win the third one. Being on the side of Utah State, is there anything you can point to that was the difference in coming up short against San Diego State the first two times but getting the win ultimately and probably the most important one?
I just think the way we competed the two previous times, I think coming out of both those games, we felt like we had opportunities to win those two games and just didn't get it done, and felt like if we had another shot at them that we could make some adjustments and put ourselves in a spot to be, to have a chance to beat those guys, and fortunately it played out like that.
Are you surprised by what Wyoming was able to do against you guys?
No, Wyoming was a team with a bunch of young guys that play hard and compete, and when you get into the tournament situation, it's a one game deal, and so the fact that we had beaten them twice during the regular season really didn't matter. All they knew is they had to beat us once, and they were going to come out and play as hard as they could, and those guys do a really good job. They're a defensive minded team, and offensively their motion was really good that night. I mean, they were really active. I thought they really shared it and played the way they needed to try to beat us, and that was a difficult thing for our guys. We're a preparation team, and they kind of play with a little bit more freedom than they had in the past, and they just did a really good job of sharing the basketball that night.
Coach, you've won back-to-back Mountain West tournament championships now. Was there something you saw in having success last year that made it easier to do this year, or was it just as much a challenge to run the gauntlet?
I think it was just as big of a challenge, coming in as a 2 seed and being a team that has expectations to win it. Each team that you're going up against until you get to the championship game and play the 1 seed, they have nothing to lose. And so they're going to come out and play loose and play with a lot of freedom. And I think you saw that from the first 2 teams.
Austin Hansen of the Utah State Aggies men's basketball coaching staff joining us here on the Full Court Press. Coach, the turnaround from the Wyoming game to San Diego State. Sam Merrill talked about how he didn't even get to go to bed until about 2:15 a.m. I'm not sure what time you got a chance to go, if you even got a chance to sleep that night. Can you talk about how tough that turnaround is to go from a late night game to a mid-afternoon game for a championship?
It was really tough. And I think anytime you get into a tournament setting where you've got back-to-back games like that, and especially for us having 3 games in a row, it's really tough. And playing in the night game and Friday night's game was especially tough just because of the late start time, the 8:30 start time. We didn't get out of there till around 11:30, 11:45, and I don't think we got back to the hotel until 12:15, and we wanted to do some walk through a little bit with the guys just to kind of put some things in their head overnight and have them ready for the morning. We tried not to keep them up too late and go through too much, but our team is really good with information, and so we did. We got back to the hotel and went over a couple things, and it was a quick night, that's for sure.
Coach, can you talk to what the difference is in the mentality and preparation? Because normally, in the regular season, you have 2 games a week, but then it's got to be that much tougher when you got 3 games back to back to back. What is the difference, and how does having a veteran team make that easier, knowing that you got to really focus on the details because you don't have time to get deep into the scouting report for the team you're playing the next day?
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate to have an experienced team and a team with really good leadership, a team that's committed to executing what we're asking them to do, especially on the defensive end. And so, when we went into film sessions with the guys, everybody was locked in, and it started from the top with our seniors, and those guys knew how important those sessions were, and how important it would be to us going out and winning the next day. And so, to have those guys locked in and have the leadership from our seniors down to our younger guys was key for us. And so we give them a lot of information, and to have Sam and Abel and Diogo, again, being older guys that they once we start going over stuff, their recall on the stuff was pretty quick, and it was pretty familiar to them, and so it was a lot easier to go through stuff just with those guys being able to process that information and help our younger guys with it.
What's the status on Sean Bairstow?
I think he'll be fine. I think he was meeting with the trainers and going over that stuff today, but I hadn't heard yet on what the extent of it yet.
So we don't know if he'll be available yet for the NCAA tournament. Is that correct?
I don't yet.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let's get to the fun stuff here. Sam Merrill just was unconscious in those 3 games. I know you've seen a lot of basketball as your time as a coach. You ever seen anything like that?
That was a heck of a performance. That's one of those things you dream up as a kid. And rarely do you get to be on that stage and have that opportunity in front of you. And for him to do it all 3 games was pretty incredible. And we needed it. All 3. You go back and think about the first night against New Mexico. It was basically the same shot with about 3 or 4 minutes that put us up 3, and then we had some other guys make some plays to finish it out, and then the next night against Wyoming, hit some shots there in the second half to extend the lead a little bit and give us a little breathing room down the stretch, and then to finish it off against San Diego State the next night in the championship game to clinch that berth to the NCAA tournament. I mean, it doesn't get any better for a kid like that.
Was that a no-go shot on the San Diego State one, or did you expect him to take that deep a 3? Because I can tell you as a fan, I was like, no, yes, of course that's what we needed to take.
It didn't matter at that point. We just knew we were going to have we felt like we were going to have the last shot, and obviously at that point you want the ball in Sam's hands.
Oh, definitely.
He's the one guy that has consistently come up big for us, and you knew he was the one guy that wanted to take that shot. So. Obviously Sam has made his mark on this league and at Utah State, and so we didn't doubt how far out or where he took the shot. Wherever he was going to take it, we were comfortable and confident in him making it.
Did you guys discuss before that you would not take a timeout if you were to get him out or get a rebound and just go?
We really didn't. We talked more about the defensive end and what we needed to do, and I think that was just kind of a gut thing with Coach when we got the stop and kind of looked up there what the time was on the clock, and it was in Sam's hands, and he just let him go to work.
How sick did you get when you saw Malachi Flynn's last shot go up in the air and it looked online?
Well, Ajay, I've been in that situation actually a couple other times.
Oh, really?
Where the shot, where the shot was taken, I was directly in line with it, so I could see the line of the ball, and it looked pretty good. And I've been 2 other times in the same situation. I've seen that shot go in, and we've gotten beat. And so, instantly as the shot went up and as it got closer to the rim, it was right on line. I was like, oh my goodness, not again. And I mean, that thing was it's just long, just by a hair, and until it hit the ground and was out, like I said, I just had a sick feeling in my stomach when he let it go, and I watched the line of it.
Coach, with the Mountain West tournament being earlier this week, do you have a preference, especially since last year you won and this year you won? Would you prefer to have the tournament next week and keep this kind of momentum you got going, or do you think having kind of the week and a half off to reset and heal up is better?
Yeah, I think the time off will will help our guys. It'll give us some much needed rest at this point. You always it's it's always a balance of trying to figure out how much to go and how much rest to give them. But I think for us, I think it'll be good for us this week to have a couple days off.
I'm sure you haven't seen your guys a whole bunch yet, considering it's only Monday. But what's something or some things you took away from the experience last year? Obviously, he's Mountain West tournament champs as well, but took away from the NCAA berth that you think will contribute or help the team this season. Obviously, going back-to-back tournaments.
I just think the experience of being on the big stage like that. There's so much that goes into the NCAA tournament, into March Madness. And, your first time out there on that kind of a stage and in that setting, in that situation, it's hard to, it's kind of surreal for guys, and it takes a while for everything to set in and for you to get to a comfort level where you can just go out and play basketball. All of the outside influences, the media requests, the interviews, all that kind of stuff. It just kind of, disrupts kind of your daily routine and all that stuff is great. The exposure and being able to do that kind of stuff is great. But, for a basketball player, it kind of disrupts what, their daily routine and how they get ready for a game and how they mentally prepare. And so I think, for us having the majority of guys back and been through that experience before, I think it's going to help out this time. I think they're going to have an understanding of what they need to do to prepare themselves for the game.
So speaking of schedules and routines, what is your schedule like this week with an off week after playing 3 grueling games in 3 days?
Well, that's something we're still working on. We're going to take a couple days off, obviously, and I think that's something as we move forward here in the next couple of days, just trying to figure out, how many days we want to go consecutively and how many we want to take off.
Do you, as a coach, do you guys pay attention? I know Craig Smith was asked about this during the broadcast, how much they pay attention to bracketology. As an assistant coach, do you maybe pay attention a little bit more, keep your eye on it, especially with the team? A big talking point was the Aggies being on the bubble for so much of the tournament.
For myself, I would say I didn't spend a whole lot of time with bracketology just because I spent more time, watching film and getting our guys ready and preparing for the next team and the next opponent. That probably falls a little bit more on maybe some of our administrative guys that like to get wrapped up in that stuff and know what's going on and know what seeds people are going to be and where they could go and all that stuff. So for myself as an assistant that's down on the floor with guys, I'm more worried about that stuff and trying to help them get ready.
How big was Alfonso Anderson in those final 2 games?
He was great. Obviously the last game, hit those 2 big threes there in the second half to give us a little spark, and his second one obviously cut it to 1 there and kind of got us going, and so he was big for us that way, and defensively did a nice job for us. Just his versatility on that end of the floor really helps us out, and you look at all 3 games and we kind of had that third to fourth guy step forward each game. The first game Diogo knocks down a big 3 and he had a couple put back shots that maybe don't get the recognition that his 3 late and with a minute to go in that game. People kind of remember that one, but he had some other plays that he made, and then the next night Brock Miller makes a couple shots for us in the second half that again kind of helped us separate a little bit from Wyoming, and then Fonz makes a couple big threes against San Diego State there in the second half. So it was nice to see that, and then Justin Bean was just kind of his himself there through all 3 games, just kind of picked up rebounds without you even noticing it. And then you look at the stat sheet and he's got a couple double-doubles there. So it was nice for us to have that third guy and fourth guy kind of step forward in key moments. Like I said, the second half when we needed some guys, when Sam and Namish were, getting a little bit more of the attention for those guys to step forward and make some shots, that helped us big time, and it's going to help us moving forward here in the NCAA tournament.
Coach, I know we're a week out or almost a week out from Selection Sunday. What is the schedule? What is the process like for you once the brackets do come out and you know who your opponent is? Can you walk us through that? Because it's pretty quick turnaround, right? After finding out who you're going to play, getting ready, and traveling and all that.
It is. It just depends on, the game if we're playing on Thursday or Friday. If we play on Thursday, we're probably taking Monday off and going Tuesday and Wednesday. We like to take a couple days there before the game to start preparing our guys for that opponent. And, if we play on Friday, that changes things a little bit there. We probably have another day off in there somewhere, not sure exactly where it is. Our guys, we try to keep our guys in the same routine we've had all year. As a staff, we're the ones probably scrambling a little bit because we're just trying to get caught up on film, right? You're probably playing somebody that you haven't seen this year. And so, we're just trying to watch as much film and get as much information on the team that we're playing. So, we're going to take that Sunday night and most likely have Monday off and really try to, figure out as much as we can on our opponent.
Is that something where maybe you look at some of the projections to kind of not necessarily go deep into, but to kind of maybe gather some possibles, or is that a waste of time and you just wait until they're finally released?
Yeah, I think you can waste a lot of time looking at those projections, and I'm not sure how many times that's right. And so, we're probably better off just waiting to see exactly who we get. I'm not sure, thinking about last year, if anybody had us playing Washington in any of the projections. So you can do a lot of work for yourself there that doesn't mean anything by doing that. So I know we'll probably wait until we know exactly who we're playing.
Hey, Coach, I know we got to let you go here so you can get back to your week, but I got final two questions for you. One, what has your time been like so far at Utah State? Have you enjoyed it, and if so, why?
It's been great. The people of Cache Valley and Utah State have been awesome. The support that we get, at our home games is unbelievable. The herd has been awesome. To walk out there and play in front of 9,000 and 10,000 people is what you want. You bust your tail during the week, Monday through Wednesday or Thursday, and then go out on Friday and Saturday and to be able to go out and compete on that stage and for our guys to see that's been awesome. And to go down to Las Vegas and play 3 games and have a great crowd for all 3 of them, and for them to show up in the championship game was huge. And then we get back here at 3:00 in the morning, and we got a bunch of fans out there waiting for us and cheering us on. That's what it's all about. So it's been fun. Our guys have had a great experience here the last couple of years, and that's made because of the people that are associated with us. So it's been an unbelievable experience so far in these first 2 years.
Most important question: how did you celebrate, or did you wait till you got home? Because I'm sure you were exhausted. I mean, how did we do it? Bottle of champagne, or what was the drill?
Sleeping in. Slept in on Sunday. We had a couple late nights there on Thursday and Friday, so we slept in on Sunday and got up and had the game on DVR, so we got a chance to watch it. It's always fun to go back and watch the TV version of it and kind of relive it that way. So the last couple of days have been fun, and next Sunday will be a great time also. Hey,
do you notice anything when you watch those games? Did anything else stand out to you that you're like, huh, I had no idea that was that it became a big part of the game?
Not really. I think when you're kind of always in coach mode.
Yeah.
So it's tough to move into that fan mode. When you're doing that stuff, you're kind of always looking for some things that you did well or you didn't do well schematically that way. So, but it's fun to go back and just watch it every once in a while too.
Hey, well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate you. Enjoy the week off, and we'll see you next Sunday for Selection Sunday.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks, Coach.